Hey there, guys. This is Malorian, and this will be a Warmachine 101. And what I really like doing with these here is taking a situation, because a situation in Warmachine has a lot of different options to it. You're looking at it's like, I could do this, I could do that, and I feel it's really best to just do that. We're just going to take a situation, and I'm going to talk about the different options. Now, I didn't really have time to prepare this weekend. I went off to Calgary with my family. We went to the zoo. We got a new puppy. It's a miniature dachshund. And it's like, oh man, I didn't have time to get that up this weekend. What am I going to do? And luckily, my buddy, Lord Tremendous, has a new battle report out and has a perfect scenario to do one of these Warmachine 101s on. So again, I'm not really picking on my buddy Lord Tremendous. I do know him back from the fantasy days, and hopefully from this, I can help him learn a little bit of the tricks to Signar as he's trying to get into it, and people watching too can get a little bit more insight into the Warmachine game as well. So what's going to happen here is I am going to share that screen. We're going to pop over, and we are now looking at a screenshot here of his video. It's actually his video here. I just paused at this point to get a better picture, but I'm going to be putting down a link to this battle report so you can see the whole thing. But this is where we are right now. So the scenario is the one where there's a friendly zone and an enemy zone, and there's objectives in each. You can dominate the close one, the friendly one, for 1 point. You can control theirs for 1, dominate for 2. We have to destroy the objective first, and the objective is worth 1. So that's the scenario. But as we can see here, both the objectives are both in place. Neither casters are in the zone, so nobody scored any points right now. So let's look at what the forces are from left to right. We have, and again, hopefully my sausage fingers here don't make this start running again, but over here we have the long gunners fighting against some Idrians. Both have taken a few losses, and the long gunners have failed their command, which is not good for them. This is the only proxy of the whole thing. This is actually Strangeways, not Rupert. Here we can see Darius and a half-jack. Up here in this big scrum, you can see that on his side, he has a half-jack up there. He has a Centurion. He has Thunderhead. There's also against the other side, on the Menoth side, there's a Crusader and a whole bunch of Incinerators. And something to keep in mind of this, even though there's no wreck marker, is that Thunderhead is destroyed. So not looking good. Meanwhile, up here, I believe this is the Blessing of Vengeance, their Arc Node. This is Krios, their enemy caster on the other side. There's also the Book, the Covenant. And then over here is the other Lightjack of Menoth, who had just killed the junior warcaster who was running this Hunter. So the Hunter is now inert. Yeah, that's kind of a danger. You don't want to have your junior up there. And yeah, he has now died. So we're going to take this situation, and we're going to say, okay, going now here at the end of turn 3 for the opponent, it's going to go into turn 3 for Lord Tremendous. What in the world is he going to do? Well, I think one of the first things we can look at, maybe with this, because it's Darius, and this is what Darius normally does, is attrition. Darius loves attrition. He says, hey, guess what? I can go and beat you up. I can then, if you start beating up my jacks, I'll just automatically fix them. And what are you going to do about it? And looking at attrition here, though, we are now down a Thunderhead. We are also down a Junior, and we are down basically the Long Gunners and also a Hunter. So attrition is going horrendously. Can this brave Centurion beat all these other things here? Doubtful. Very doubtful. Krios has already popped his feet, so that's gone, so that's good. But the odds of him surviving here aren't great. I mean, what he could start doing is just stabbing all these Incinerators. Maybe with his Fortify, of course, that's going to keep him alive, so the enemy Crusader won't destroy him. Then if he ever does some real damage, then Darius can pop feet, completely repair him, and kind of keep going. There is some worry, of course, though, that on the other side, scenario could be a bigger deal because he won't have anything over there to contest. Kind of. He could be making half-jacks, and the half-jacks can be running over there. But once he destroys this objective and gets Krios into there, he'll get 1 point for destroying the objective, 2 points for dominating, and even if you run over a half-jack or something like that there, he just needs to get that cleared out and dominate once more for the win. So attrition, based on what the scenario is looking like, isn't going to happen. You can't even have that Centurion trample into the zone. Sometimes that's a very normal thing you do. A heavy just tramples into the zone and says, hey, if you can't beat this heavy, you're kind of screwed. But you can only trample over small base models, not smaller, small. So that means that the Centurion can't trample over these Incinerators into the zone. So that's off the table. Just to throw it on the table there, even though it's probably not a real one, can we go for scenario? Well, there is currently on the zone on the left just that one jack. It is possible that the Centurion could walk over to it, might have reach, could maybe destroy that jack, and then Darius can run into the zone to dominate for 2. I suppose that could work. But again, as soon as you start doing that, yeah, the Crusader will just get into the zone. The same things will happen on the right, and they're going to win by scenario faster than the Signar player will. So really, attrition is off the table, scenarios off the table, so we need to go for assassination. So, okay, we are looking at assassination. What are our tools? These are the only things we have to try and pull this off. Well, long gunners are out. Long gunners failed command this turn. They can only try and roll again to rally, and that's going to be it. They're completely out. We do have a strange ways. Not a huge threat right now because, you know, he's not in charge range. He can't walk up and spray. Maybe he could fix if needed or something, but being back here in what I assume is rough terrain, or maybe this is cover, he's not really, I can't see him doing much for attrition from where he is. Of course, we have Darius. We still have our Squire, which must have at least 1 still on it because it's just turn 3. If you took one off on 1 and 2, he has to be there. We have a Centurion who has Fortify on it. He is on fire, but the fire isn't going to really do anything, so he's really there. That's awesome, and that's really all we have. That's all we have to get to Krios. All right, now Krios is right here. Where do we see an opening? Do we see a range? Well, Darius has a gun. Darius could walk up here and try and take a shot at him. It'd be kind of a long range thing, but that is a possibility. Okay, but otherwise for ranged, we have no other range options to us. So that's something. Oh, we should also keep in mind too, half jacks, because hey, those are just another tool we have. We have 1 half jack here, plus Darius will always make another half jack. So again, that's not a massive thing. They have no weapons, but hey, it's another model we should remember that we have. However, as we're looking over here, this is the one opening. All around here is Incinerators. This is rough terrain. There is a Crusader here. So this is the only open path we have. Now, when you get to a situation like this, where it's like, damn, I just got to somehow make this assassination happen, this is where it's really important to go down into trying to figure out what is actually on the table and on the cards. Now, if we're looking again for our defense-wise, we see the DW here, which would be Defender's Ward, +2 defense, +2 armor. This came from where the Incinerators charged. So I'm assuming that not Krios, but the Incinerators have Defender's Ward. Krios also is camping nothing, but has some spell on him. And knowing Krios, I bet you that's Lamentation. Lamentation says, if you're within 14 inches of me, anything you want to cast is doubled. That really sucks. Really, really sucks. However, I think that we might be actually safe from this. This is going to be a very touchy thing. I'm not really sure. But luckily, because Darius is focus 6 and has a command of 12, plus he has a Squire to increase it to 14, we can see if we are within 14 inches of Krios to see if we're under the effects of Lamentation. If we are, that's really, 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 really bad. Okay, over here is the book. I don't see any token down. I don't know what the book said, but I'm going to assume it says no knockdown. Let's just assume that's what it has. Other things like no continuous effects or whatever else it can do, it probably is saying no knockdown. All right, let's look into Darius Card and see what he can do. And here's the number one thing that's going to be key to us, and that's going to be his crane ability. This is a star action, and it says, first of all, knock down friendly models within 2 inches of this model. Immediately stand up. It can activate normally this turn. Well, Fortify stop the feat from knocking down the Centurion, so that part's not important. However, additionally, you can choose one friendly model within 2 inches of this model and place that model anywhere within 1 inch of its location. That is a massive, massive ability. What that really means is that Darius can walk up his 5 inches that he can walk up, and as long as he's within 2 inches of this, he can move within 1 inch of his last location. Now, a big mistake that people make is that they think, oh, that means 1 inch, that's it. No. This isn't completely 1 inch. This says 1 inch. And that's a very big deal for Darius. So that really means that if you put down a 1 inch marker here, you can place a Centurion over here. You guys see where I'm going with this? Open lane to Krios. That's awesome. Okay, we can go up there and we can crane over our good old buddy, the Centurion, so that he has a lane over to Krios. Now, I'm not sure he can get far enough that he won't take a free strike from the Crusader, and the last thing you want to do is go up there, bring him over, and find out, oh, now I just lost my Cortex, or I just lost my weapon, and now the assassination is over. So we're also going to want to fix this guy, and we're going to want to make sure that when we do take this free strike, it's going to be as not as deadly as possible. And I think to do that, we are going to need to keep Fortify up. So let's start looking at what our focus situation is. Well, Darius is focus 6. So 3 of those focus are going to go to the Centurion. He's going to need all the focus he can. And then past that, one of ours is going to be wanting to be upkeeping Fortify. That'd be a really great idea. Well, are there any other spells that would really help us? Well, there is something called Full Throttle. Full Throttle costs 3. It's just on itself, and its range is basically his control range. And it says this: Warjacks in this model's battle group beginning their activations in this control area can run, charge, or slam, or trample for free without casting focus. While in this model's control area, models in this battle group gain boosted melee attack rolls, and this lasts for 1 turn. This would be a really good spell to cast. However, we've already allocated 3. We are using 1 to upkeep our Fortify. We only have 2 left, except we have the Squire. And the Squire can give us 1 more focus, so that we'll effectively have 7. So that'll be 3 to go onto the Jack, 3 to cast Full Throttle, and 1 to be upkeeping the spell here, Fortify. All right. Now, this is where our let's talk about the perfect plan, and then talk about our plan B. Here's the perfect plan. We take 1 from the Squire. We upkeep Full Throttle. We are going to be going with Darius. We have a half jack right here. The half jack can always touch me in base to base. We're going to pop feet so that if there's any damage on the Centurion, it is completely fixed. Of course, we're going to be allocating 3 to the Centurion back in the control phase. And then now is going to be where we're going to be casting Full Throttle, moving up to the Centurion. We are going to crane the Centurion over here. It is going to be then making a charge against Krios for free because of Full Throttle, and then taking free strikes. Centurion is pretty damn tough with all the shields and stuff, so it's probably, with Fortify and all that, not going to lose any systems. Awesome. Once we get to Krios, we still have our 3 focus on us. We're boosted to hit, and one of the best things about the Centurion, it has sustained attack. So if we ever hit Krios, past that point, we just keep buying and keep going. So hopefully on the first charge we'll hit. We might even just kill Krios with that. Even if we don't, we can buy, automatically hit. If we miss the first one, we can buy. It's automatically boosted because of Full Throttle. And after 3 of those attacks, Krios should be dead. However, here is the one problem with that plan that could come up. Lamentation. If this distance is 14 inches, and it might be, zones, here's a way we can measure this, guys. Zones are 6 inches across. So we can see from here to here is 6 inches. Maybe this to here is then another 6 inches, and then it's like, is this 2 inches? So it's going to be close, guys. I'm not sure if the Krios player was smart. He would have moved up, measure his control area, make sure we're in lamentation area, and make sure we're in there. If that's the case, we cannot cast full throttle. And we can't even do a thing first where we're like, step back an inch, cast full throttle, and then move back again. No, you got to finish your movement. You can't interrupt it with like attacks and spells and stuff like that. So if we're in range, we're screwed. Well, kind of. Then we go into plan B. No full throttle. That's off the table. What's going to happen then is same thing, upkeep, allocate 3, come over, crane. Now, this is where I get things dodgy because we don't have full throttle anymore. We're going to charge with the Centurion. That's going to cost 1 focus to charge, and we're going to need to boost to hit. Okay, so that's 2 of our focus right there. But if we hit, again, odds are we'll kill with our charge attack, and if we don't, sustain attack means if we buy 1 more, we automatically hit again, and yeah, Krios will be dead from that. He will, he does not like all that damage to the face. So past that, though, let's say that assassination fails. We will still want to be alive somehow, so is there any way we can keep ourselves alive? And that's really going to probably then come with half-jacks and crappy things. So Darius will be about here, and all these bad things will be here. He's already popped feet. This 1 half-jack would have already gone. We'll have another half-jack that we would have made this our turn. So the half-jack, the squire, and Strange Ways will all run to be in front of Darius just to hopefully buy us another turn. He actually shouldn't be able to kill the Centurion unless he goes all in, and then we can always go for an assassination next turn. But otherwise, that's really the way we want to get past this. It's all about whether we can get off full throttle, a crane for sure, and then just get into that Krios and kick his butt. So I'm going to stop sharing now and come on back. Hey there, guys. So there you go. There's Warmachine 101. Hopefully that's kind of showing you the different options and how you need to analyze it, see what's available to you with attrition or scenario. It's really just situational awareness to understand, like, okay, if I do this, he'll probably just go for scenario and that'll be easy. And then really, again, these cards, you get into a very easy habit with playing this game where it's like, oh yeah, Darius always does this. But there's always like that extra spell that doesn't usually come up that very often, or that ability that you just don't really use very much, and it can be a game winner. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and we'll catch you later. Bye.